Listen, for me, Canada is on thin ice, but I'm not going to jump off him either. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Well, my thing is,
I've been saying it's smart to bring him back. I thought the offense looked better at the end of last year. We were doing some things, keep the chemistry between him and Kenny going, especially with Kenny going into his second year. Yeah, I would say for Canada, let's just see how the first half of the season goes.
yeah, that's my whole thing, man. You pull up like after week 1, you essentially wasted all off season. You wasted all training camp. You wasted, everything this off season. To me,
it'd be nonsensical. I mean, no one in their right mind would do that after week 1.
Yeah, I'm like, man, but that's what I was saying. Like, if it's legitimately the same case after week 5, then I do feel like that's a different conversation because of the context, because of the time, because of everything involved. But I also think you're sending a drastically different message to this season if you do any of that type of stuff, making changes, coordinators or quarterbacks at this stage, so that, like I said, is a doomsday scenario. So hopefully it never comes to that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The plan is we win this week and we're on our way. Let's go, UW. Steelers have now played 36 games with Canada as OC. The offense has failed to produce over 20 points in regulation in 27 of those 36 games.
They couldn't score yesterday? Was that on Matt Canada yesterday?
I think some of it.
Okay.
Not all of it. Like I said, coaching wasn't there. I don't think players were there for the coaching. I think it was a mix of both. Didn't like some of the predictability it felt like in the first half with the offense.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, those stats are cool. It's context and all of it. I didn't leave out of that stadium yesterday feeling like that was on Matt Canada. I didn't leave out of watching that tape this morning feeling like that was on Matt Canada. So I know he's the low-hanging fruit. I know he's the guy that everybody has had a hard on for the past 2 to 3 years. I get it. But that has zero to me to do with yesterday. That was not a, oh my God, Matt Canada is god awful, this and that. No. Flow, missed opportunity, some missed throws, and some bad luck. That's what I really look at yesterday as. Like I said, regardless of who we wanted to say, and we said this at the intro, we said if you're looking at yesterday's game and you're trying to circle and say this is exclusively
100%.
the reason why,
Yep.
your mind was already made up before that game took place. If that's the energy and y'all like, yo, all because of Canada, that everything would have been different yesterday, your mind was already made up before that game happened. You've been waiting on an opportunity to see any type of negativity to bring that up. Like I said, I ain't tripping on it.
And I think he may have given you a couple series to show that, but the rest of the game, I didn't really have Canada on my mind like that.
Yeah, and trust me, I can understand you being fed up or even fatigued with him at times. I definitely can understand that part. But to act as if yesterday was a Matt Canada, that's the reason, and everything would have been drastically different if this was Bieniemy or this was Haley or this was anybody. It's like that was not the case yesterday, man. So I get it, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I just feel like it was a lot more other factors at play than just the Matt
Everyone
Canada
had a part in that loss. Yeah. Everyone did. That's how I felt. Yeah. The thought of firing Canada or firing Tomlin really never crossed my mind at all during that game.
But like I said, I get the whole 20 points thing over the 27 games sample. I get, or 37 games. I get all of that. Like, that's cool.
I mean, I could probably go back and talk about those games in a way because last year, we weren't putting up 20 points that consistently. And we were winning games though. Yeah. We were wasting a lot of clock, keeping our defense off the field. Like that was the goal of the offense.
It was just a different flow,
different style. Yeah. Ben's year offensive line terrible, absolutely terrible.
So bad O-line while still trying to play a style of football that isn't conducive to play behind a bad O-line. Like I said, it's still context with all of this type of stuff, but not making
Canada should have never been in that position to begin with.
Right, and that's another case you can make. But my thing is this: it's not making an excuse, not minimizing the guy's role. I just don't support the narrative stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's very easy to you throw these numbers out here, and then we over here like, yeah, it was all on Matt Canada, man. He was the reason, man. I tell you, he was terrible. Did he have a couple of bad calls? Sure, you can make a case for that. Are you tired of reverse? Okay, cool. You hate the jet sweep. We could talk about the jet sweep as a whole has been one of the most successful plays for Matt Canada for this offense over the duration of his tenure here. You can make a case for anything if you're trying to make a whole narrative about it. But at the end of the day, look at the large sample size with some of this stuff. And at the same time, look at the context. And you got to take all of that into account, not just one versus the other. That's all.
I will say this. Those games that he does have over 20-plus points, that's all probably due to Ben cooking in the fourth quarter. It had nothing to do with Canada. I will say that.
Today's show is brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook. You know, the top-rated sports booking app. It's football season. Plenty of people out here trying to have a little fun. This is the app that you go to. This is the app that you use. This is the app that we use. And why do we use it? Because it is safe. It is secure. But more importantly, Deke, it's reliable. Just like your barber. Your barber delivered a fire cut for you. That's reliability right there. All right?
Yeah.
And that's what DraftKings Sportsbook is. They are reliable. And y'all know if we're going to talk about them, we're going to talk about them for a reason. And that's because we have a promo code. So when you first, decide to hop into this game called sports gambling, sports betting, sports booking, all that good stuff, you're going to have that first time when you're putting that wager in. So when you're on DraftKings, and it's your first time making a bet, all right, you're going to have to put a little deposit down. If you put the minimum, which is $5, and you put the promo code MOATS along with said minimum, you will instantly receive $200 in free bets. It's a beautiful concept. It's like you scratch my back, I'm going to really scratch your back. You can't go wrong with it, baby. So I love that part about them. But at the same time, Deke, it's not always butterflies and rainbows. Sometimes people struggle. Sometimes people can't handle all the fun that's associated with sports betting. And sometimes you or someone you know might have a gambling problem. They might need some crisis counseling or even referral services. Those people that live in New York, sitting there on the screen right now for you to text. And under that number for everybody else, it's a number you could call. And that number is 1-800-GAMBLER. I said 1-800-GAMBLER.